the fuck? It's day 189. Wait, did I even? Anyway. I probably got the day wrong on the note because it was 2 days. 2 days and the last day. Mm-hmm. So? Mm-hmm. What? No. There's no cat. That's my fur coat with a wolf head on it. It's a wolf head cape. It keeps me warm in the mountain. And I've got a drake helmet, so I've got little horns on my head. I'm all dressed in silver gear. I'm standing in my little shack. You can see the... What are those called? We're Kermit the Frog. A little uncomfortable. I assume you get there. I mean, you probably get there. If you're not already, you probably start somewhere and then you get there. And also, I've been upgrading my armor throughout the game, so I've been gradually getting. Ooh, look at the sun. Pretty hat. There's a swamp. See the swamp trees? And then see the giant sky tree. That's how I know my way. Because there's no map. This is my boat. The boat? Right there. Stuff in the ground. Right now, really good. But I do need the wind to be in my favor. I think it'll be a crosswind, it looks like, right now, but it tends to change. So I gotta push the boat off the land here. Kind of came in at a different angle this time. Uh-oh. Bye, boat. So, you see that little yellow bar filling up? That's the stamina, which is how long I can run or swim or whatever. You see the streaks of wind? So they're coming right at me, but I'm going to go cross, but then... oh, that's just wind, pollen. It's you know, low res, so pollen's a big square. But there is a mountain up there. You see that little building there and the stone wall? That's my farm that I started here in the plains, but I got more stuff to put in it. I'm leaving the shack. I'm going home. This is like a distant area, way away from where I started. And I've got a temporary home here with a farm. Well, I'm coming back. No, I gotta come back. I forgot what's called the cultivator, which is the big rake-looking item that I need to plant items. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm about to have to turn pretty much into the wind, but what I'm gonna do is stay... I'm gonna overshoot this direction and then cut against the wind. Maybe by then the wind will change in my favor, but right now the wind sucks. It's like right here. It's coming from this angle. It needs to be behind me. But you see how the sail is? This is like, you know, pretty accurate for sailing for a game. The wind's just shearing off of it, so it's still making me go this way. But I can't go any more that way or I'll stall out. And I'll just be rowing. I'll be going slow. So I'm going to, but I need to go that way. I need to be over here. My house is that way. And I know because of the tree, I need to go this way on the tree and then that way on the tree to get around this other land. This one is extremely interesting in terms of its, some of it's simplified but kind of advanced, like net effect. Like it's kind of simple concepts that have a really interesting net effect. So I can kind of see a mountain here. That's one of my guideposts. I'm supposed to, so the wind changed just then, by the way. Now it's coming this way. Yeah. So now it's perfect. It's one full day in the game, which is about 16 minutes. It's about 10. Well, it's about 10 real-world minutes for 8 hours. I've got about 16 hours to get home. It's okay if it's dark, except when I'm in the ocean at night, serpents will come after me, which is not a huge deal unless the wind stalls out and I'm in a place where I can't kind of get away from it or whatever. Still sort of morning time. So the tree branch this way is more or less east, and the sun rises in the east. But we're in the northern hemisphere. So this is south, and it's more south when it comes up than it is east. So it kind of rises and sets in the southern hemisphere. But it is, I guess, presumably summertime because it takes it 16 hours to do it. That's another location I set up over here, this little tower. So that's if I needed to, I could pause there if the weather was bad or whatever. That shack so I can repair my boat. Well, that part's kind of new. So I just defeated the last boss on a big mountain past it. That's the little peak where I just was, around that land area, between those two pieces of land. Anyway, so I just beat the boss. That lets me, not let me, but gives me new capabilities so I can actually refine the materials that I get in that land. I had to get the dragon tears. So I had to kill the dragon that's on top of a big mountain that's past there. And I saw the plains on the way. Yeah, and the plains is the next level after the mountains, and you go after this goblin king or whatever called Yagluth. And to even find that dragon, I had to find this, what's called a Vegvisir, Vegvisir. It's an old Nordic word that means a directional stone. And then it kind of leads me like, go over here, go over here. And I kind of had to sail in that general direction until I found a big enough mountain that I was like, oh, I bet the dragon's on that big mountain. So I need to go around that tip there, and the wind is slowing down and going right in my face, pretty much. When the wind's in my favor, I can make it in a day. When the wind's not, I don't know. I might have to stop and build something along the way. So this part, this swamp over here, this lowland, when it reses in, you would see it's a swamp, but you can kind of see a mountain peak right above it. That's where I found the stone that told me where the dragon was, and it just went, it points my body in the direction of the dragon, and then I have to kind of like look at the tree, but it was hard because it's a snowstorm, so I kind of just had to run down with my camera staying in the direction it pointed. Normally, once you hit one of those stones, you get a symbol on your map that you can see, a giant map on your whole screen. And once you find a certain special stone, it'll tell you where the next boss is. It's like the stone in the mountain biome will tell you where the mountain boss is. There's a whole bunch of mountains on the map, and if you wanted to go across the entire map, it would take hours. But yeah, so the path back to my home is now, I believe, right. So what I'm looking for is to go up this coast and then see like there's little islands going dot, 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 and then that leads me over to my island. I've been doing this like, where the hell am I thing. I think I need to go that way a bit, but I want to double check. So yeah, I think this is going to come out, and then there's going to, yep, there's an island. So I'm following this dot, dot, dot island back home. It's like I'm really having to notice every little detail in the game to be able to get around, which makes it a very different game. Some people play it, and if they die, they just start over. And I won't do that, but if I die in certain scenarios, it's going to take me a while to figure out how to get back to where I am. But the good news is I'm pretty confident in getting back and forth between my base and this other area now. I've got it pretty much figured out. But if I would have to get all the materials together to make a big enough boat. And I don't quite think I have everything I need for that, but I have most things. Yeah, so now this land is a far edge of where I started. I haven't ran over there yet, but I could have. And it looks like I almost could have made it just with a raft. Just because of these little islands all the way across there. So, you know, my character is hungry, but I probably don't need to eat. Well, if you don't eat in a certain amount of time, you get hungry. And I'm on the boat, so I don't really need to eat. So I'm just going to... Well, it just said you could eat another bite, but also over here is the food squares. And there's 3 of them, and only 2 of them are filled, and the bottom 2 ones are flashing. And it affects the health. So if this goes all the way out, my health goes from 100 to 25. And my stamina goes from like 100 something to 50. So you won't die if you don't eat, but you won't have much health or stamina, so if anything attacks you, you won't die. Yeah. Well, you won't be able to run anymore. You'll have to wait. Oh yeah, so this is another landmark. This thing has this stuff I can mine on it. If I wanted to make a harpoon and a couple other things, that would be useful, but it's not... None of the stuff is necessary. With a harpoon, I could pull a dragon to the shore, and I could collect its trophy and its scales. At this point, they don't really do much for me. I think, if I remember, once I get past the plains into what's called the Mistlands, which is going to be even further from my base, past that plains area. Once I get there, then I'll be able to, I think, build something magical with the serpent shields. I can't quite remember. Yeah, so I've never been on this part, but it's an easy part if I had to. Black Forest and Meadows. That purple thing spawns the little gray dwarves, which are annoying and throw rocks at you. There's a river through here. So I could take my boat all the way through that river, but there's no reason to now. I'm at 13 minutes, which means I'm at 8 hours after 6 a.m., so it's about 4 p.m. You can see now the sun's in the west, kind of. It's over there, so that way is west. But it's like, it'll set kind of down there toward where that branch is, which is why this is east to west. So it came up over there, like just to this side of that branch, and it goes down over here just to that side of that branch. So I think this is directly equator, and that's kind of how you don't get lost when you're not playing. Which is, you know, the equivalent of using stars. Like, if that tree wasn't there, those 3 stars are there. See that? Right above my sail mast, those 4 stars. Like, that's a constellation. And you see that constellation? So if I didn't have the tree, I'd be forced to use the constellations. Which I kind of think that'd make a pretty cool game. Because that's exactly how things actually work. You know what I mean? So the tree, to me, is even cheating. It's almost like I want to play a mode where you don't even have the tree. The stars. Not really. These constellations are just as clear as that tree is. They don't move. Because the season doesn't change. Now, what would also be interesting is as you played, the season changed. Which it does only in one way, in that the game lets you build certain items on the seasonally. Like you can build a Christmas tree kind of thing during that season. I think there's a summer thing, but I don't remember. So it would come up after the solstice. Or the solstice? No, the other one. What's the summer one? Wait, they're both solstices, right? when it goes and tilts over that way, and winter solstice. But then there's the fall equinox. Equinox. So yeah, this is now where my land turns around. There's a bay, and now I'm going direct west. Well, not quite direct west, because this tree forks in the middle of it is, I think, west. This is slightly southwest. And I'm going back home to my base. There's been times early on trying to find the mountain region where the dragon lives, where I got lost. And I went way around. Basically, this land over here, I went way around that. I didn't realize it. So I got super lost, and I was getting really anxious and worried. It took me 4 or 5 days. My food was almost completely out. I had to collect berries and stuff to survive. And I finally found my way back, and I was so super relieved to get back to my home. It's not a super fancy home. It's got just enough space to accommodate my lifestyle, which is mostly storing just enough stuff to advance. And that's the Viking life here in Valheim. If you go a full day, it's 30 minutes, but usually you sleep, so a full day is about 16 to 20 minutes. And that's how I've been cutting most of these episodes. I'm at day 180. So there's basically 180 of these episodes. So if I die prematurely, you should take all the vocal tracks from these things, and then you can make a coding AI that will talk about it. Yeah, if I die tomorrow. Well, they're all on YouTube. You should be able to contact Google and get all my passwords. Yeah, you should get all my media and kind of secure it. Yeah, we're still behind on doing that. Thought I came in here. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, so then I know that this clearing here is kind of where my home is, and I'm like, oh, I'm almost home. It doesn't render till you get close enough. I kind of wish it would render a low-res representation of where you live, but I know I cut most of these trees, so when I see those few trees and that, I'm like, I'm almost home. And plus, there's this tiny little channel here where it gets really super narrow. Yeah, and the wind was cooperative almost the whole way. It's not always true. Sometimes the wind is just right in your face the whole time. I'm almost completely out of food, so I'm going to eat food just so I can run around. And then there, you can see the stones, you can see a small tower, you can see my front fence. There's a piggy there hanging out. I didn't raise any piggies or anything this round, because it's not really that super useful, honestly. The amount of effort to train animals is, I don't think it's worth it. Look, see, now the sun's going down and I'm just pulling home. Perfect distance. See, there's my house. I've got troll trophy on the outside of the thing. Yeah. Sun's just setting. There we are. And a boring ride home is a good ride home. Got my bonfire. my inside the house fire. This is my little patio. I like the design. And my upstairs where my bed is. Little chair. An upper deck here.
Where's your bed?
With another big chair. It's right there. In here. Yep. I'm going to put everything away. Seed. Cloudberries. Ooh, I got too many cloudberries. Good. Put them in this box. Just one of the mini foods you get in the plains. I got lox meat. I can't believe I had to come all the way back just because I forgot something stupid. Preparing everything. And then I can go... I did get a little bit of black metal, not a lot. So I can get some black metal kind of going in the furnace.
Are you talking to your audience?
Oh, the audience of 0, but sometimes people watch some of these. Yeah, I've been talking the whole time.
Wait, if you're
Yeah, but... Yeah. What do you mean? I just narrate the whole thing, Mama, just like I narrate life. How's that any different? Mm-hmm. A regular Ron Howard. Lox fur, mosquito needle. Didn't I get more mosquito needles? I guess I used them all. Ooh, I don't have any feathers. Oh, the mosquitoes are horrible. They're extremely accurately annoying in this game. Yeah, when you kill them, you get their needles, and their needles are very useful for making new arrows. These really good arrows, which helps you kill more mosquitoes, actually. Okay, and I'm collecting these totems so I can summon the next boss. I have 2, I need 5. I've got gold, I could buy a fishing rod. Fish are useful, but they're their whole complicated thing. You gotta kind of have like the right bait for the right area. It's pretty complicated. All right. So before I do anything else, I'm going to grab the cultivator and the hoe, for crying out loud, so I can go back and plant the frickin' things that I found, which is the whole conundrum I found myself in. And I've got a lot of the older equipment and fish on the wall, but you can't see because it's dark. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to make a couple of cool pieces of furniture. Iron and gray dwarf eyes let me make blue torches. I got so many of those. Okay. You put one here. One here. Those are cool. And I'll put them upstairs. Here. And over, how about here? Ooh, that's cool. Wait, why'd it go out? There we go. Yeah, I put gray dwarf eyes to make blue torches. Mm-hmm. You use them to make decorations for your home. You can make green ones too. I think I have gut. Yep. Why did it? Oh, because I put 2 here. That's right. Because they're gray dwarf eyes. These are green because they're gut. Just kind of making my place pretty. I'm resting because I'm in a warm, comfy place. So I'm resting. You know, it doesn't mean I'm currently resting. See, this is my little garden back home with onions and all that. No, this game I haven't raised any pigs or anything. No. It's not really usually worth it. I mean, other than just having a pet. Because usually you'll get enough of the meat and fur and everything you need just by killing things. Now, I would love to have wolves, because they are also protective, and they'll just go around killing everything around your area. A lot of seeds. I think I should plant some onions, because that's the main food I have right now until I get like the bread. No, I'm not at all. What? I do eat onion soup, but I also eat wolf skewers, which is onions, mushrooms, and wolf meat. And they're they're for health. The vegetables are for stamina, for like running around. You need more vegetables, and for health, like not dying, you need more meat. Absolutely. Also, if you want to shit more often. I mean, well, probably because you eat so much pizza. Yep. Mozzarella. Shoot. I didn't leave room in the middle of these frickin' onions to plant another row. Oh my god. Plus I can't see anything. Right. I'm gonna fix that. Resin, resin, resin. Black metal. Just all these torches lose all their fluid so fast. Resin? So tree sap, kind of. Like, but like, in this case, it's kind of like gooey tree sap that is flammable. So you imagine it has enough, I don't know, what is it going to be? Sort of lattice structure with the carbon. So it's a little drippy. A little bit like wax, maybe. But in this case, you mine it from trees. Or what is called, well, there's gray dwarves, and then there's just the, I don't know, the smaller dwarves. God, I forget their stupid name. And they, you know, are kind of these woodland creatures, and so they drop resin when you kill them. And you see, I've got this stone wall. Nothing can come through here. Oh, it's day 190. All right, so